Apex Legends by Respawn has passed 10 million downloads in under 72 hours and is shaping up to exceed or match the cultural phenomenon that is Fortnite. It's a battle royale, so like Fortnite, PUBG and Blackout, you and a large group of others are duking it out in an ever-shrinking arena to crown a champion. So what separates Apex Legends from the pack? This video is going to deep dive into the game, why a lawn chair covered in salad dressing has more business reviewing it than me, and why that actually kind of makes me the best person to review it. Let me start with this. I suck. I have the reflexes of a goldfish swimming in chocolate ice magic. I grew up playing a different kind of shooter. Doom, Quake and Wolfenstein. That's the kind of shooter I was good at. No matter how much I try, I just can't compete in a battle royale style first-person shooter against the skill and reflexes of those 14-year-old bright-eyed punks. Most of my games consist of a good 10 to 15 minutes of looting items only to be involved in a 10-second firefight. Rinse and repeat. Each time I think, damn okay, I have some good items, let's do this. And each time I get outwitted by a kangaroo Rambo kid who plays like he was battling some kind of blindfolded pygmy three-toed sloth equipped with nothing but a paper airplane made out of rejected love letters. It's like good players in these games can recognize a noob from across the map. That's not to say I don't get kills or win games, because I do. What I'm saying is, look, I'm never going to be able to enjoy battle royales as much as someone with more patience and more skill. It's just the truth, which is why you should listen when I say download it. I absolutely hated PUBG. It was a buggy mess that even when you won, really didn't bring me any joy. Fortnite had its moments, but yet again, it wasn't really enjoyable for me. Apex Legends though, well, I can see what the fuss is about, and that's saying a lot. Apex Legends hasn't really changed the winning formula. It's still just a battle royale, but it's the fine tuning that really makes it a superior game. So what about the gameplay? Both the sound and the graphics could be mediocre, but if a game has fun or unique gameplay, it won't matter. Just look at the impact Minecraft made and is still making. In Apex Legends, you're thrown into a game in a squad with 2 others. Your team of 3 is part of 20 squads in the game, 60 people total. You win as a team by being the last one standing. The point of difference though is that you pick a unique legend at the start, each member having to pick a different one. Legends each have a passive ability, an active ability, and an ultimate ability. This is what makes your pick really matter, as abilities make a huge difference during the game. Some legends are good at tracking and others are good at defending points. Then you have to think about how you synergize with your team. An example is Bangalore can throw down smoke and Bloodhound can see enemies through it. This adds a lifetime to the game that you just wouldn't get otherwise because you want to try out new legends and strategies, you'll have a lot more to do and a lot more to learn. When the game starts, you and your teammates are flying above the island arena in a jump ship. The teammate who picked their legend last is a designated jump master and will choose when they want to evacuate the squad out of the plane. What is great though is when you jump together in formation. The other team members can ping where they'd like to go or hold a button to break out of formation, but otherwise the jump master controls the group and where they land. This is, in my opinion, far superior to other battle royales as coordination isn't left to the individuals who often make separate decisions and land different places. There is also no parachute, you just land to the ground like a hero, cutting down on wasted time. There's more time to scramble for loot. A lot of Apex Legends is hunting. You're hunting for gear, you're hunting for weapons, medicine, and other players. The thrill is encountering an enemy squad and trying to survive, but the chase is enjoyable to many. It really is the Hunger Games in video game form. Most of the time in a straight firefight, a squad that is better equipped will win out. However, if you coordinate well and outplay your opponents, you can win. There are moments like this where you can gang bash a lone armed enemy before backup can arrive with just your fists, and it's hilarious.
Alright, in the building. Quick.
First blood. Shots fired.
So the initial search is good for armor and weapons. It's very important, but coordination is as well. When you finally do clash, this is where I notice the most improvement over other battle royale games, the hit registry. Every time you fire and each time an impact occurs on the enemy, you feel it, you see it, and you know what you did. In PUBG especially, this is lacking. Bullets seem to pass through enemies and you really have to pay close attention to know if you hit. In the heat of battle, this isn't ideal, especially for morons like me with grandpa vision. It's satisfying pumping your enemy full of hot lead in Apex, and it really does matter.
Especially when you're not pumping anyone else.
That is, of course, dependent on landing your shots. I'm sad to say that combat jumping is still a thing. I really don't get it. Do you see Navy SEALs jumping in the middle of a firefight to avoid headshots? No, it's absolutely ridiculous and I've refused to do it out of principle. Firefights also come down to how fast you can react in a lot of cases, bar when you have the jump on your enemies. There are little things that require fast reactions and a quick mind, so if it was not so highly dependent on twitch reflexes, I would be in with more of a fighting chance. So if you feel you just can't compete in this arena, this battle might not be for you. It's that simple. However, more than PUBG, Blackout and Fortnite, Apex Legends helps alleviate the twitch reflexes gap by making it easier to recognize enemies at a glance, as well as having a fantastic ping system. Frankly, the ping system is my favorite addition to the genre, even more than the slide mechanic, which is great. With a click of the button, you can contextually inform your team of particular things. If you ping on an enemy, it will warn them where the enemy was spotted. If you ping on a location on the map, it will mark a waypoint for you and your team. If you ping on an empty gun in your inventory, it will inform your team that you need that ammo type. If there's something on the screen, you can most likely ping it in some way. This is an incredibly powerful tool in the game that's so reliant on quick coordination and cognitive reactions. In a game that needs the whole team working together, perhaps a team of strangers, trying to get XXX Killer B to return fire at 120 northeast has never been easier. There's a lot of room for improvement though, and it's mostly little things, like when you're low on health and have both shield regeneration and health pack items, the quick select 4 on the keyboard will still have shield recharging items bound, forcing you to go to the inventory and select your health pack. This is a small time waster in the middle of combat, but it really does count. I also don't agree with the knockdown mechanics. When you run out of health, you're knocked to the ground. After a set amount of time, or when you take a set amount of damage, you're killed. During that time though, any of your teammates can get you back on your feet. I'm okay with this happening once, but there's been many times when I've been locked in a sniper battle, say, and I've knocked an enemy down only for them to be recovered over and over and over by their friends. I think there should be a limit, though maybe there is, I just haven't come across it within 3 knockdowns. Which brings me to another point that really applies to most multiplayer games, playing with friends versus playing with randoms. The game is exponentially better and more rewarding playing with people you know. When playing on my own, it was not an enjoyable experience. When playing with friends, there was yelling, laughing, screaming, sweat and tears. Salty, salty tears. The reward you get from a game like this is amplified when there's 3 of you on your Discord together. If you have no one to play this game with and already like the genre, you'll have fun. But if you don't like these kinds of games and you have no one to play with, you'll have as much fun as trying to coordinate coked up toddlers through a minefield. Speaking of minefield, what about the map? It's smaller than that of Fortnite, and when flying above the ground, it's noticeable. There are 60 people in any given game, but really, you encounter them as often as you would encounter 20 people as squads roll together. In my time playing, the map size versus the amount of players in it felt perfectly balanced. They really have nailed it with the encounter rate. I absolutely hated walking around for 20 minutes in PUBG not to see a single person. Many times in Apex Legends, we'd be pincered in by 2 groups or get the jump on another, but never did we encounter more than 3 groups at any given time, and even that was rare. Getting into the map feels a lot quicker in Apex Legends than other games as well. It's 1 button press to ready up, 1 button press to select your character, then you're in. This is really refreshing for someone as bad as myself, as I spend a lot of time transitioning between failed game attempts and degrees of shame. I haven't touched on the business model until now, intentionally. I feel like it shouldn't be the focal point, but it needs to be discussed. It's a free-to-play game, and as it stands, it kind of doesn't feel like one. Rewards are doled out at a reasonable pace and exceptionally fast at low levels, probably to hook you in, as there's a vanity item store and 2 unlockable legends. You can pay for these items and legends with real money or earn them with in-game currency. This is how the developers will pay for initial development costs and subsequent new content. There are plans for new legends in the future, and this does leave the door open for pay to win, however unlikely, as a new legend could be drastically imbalanced. This would cause more damage to the game and in turn their profits than it would make, however. That being said, the 2 locked legends are sitting at the bottom of a lot of tier lists, so don't feel like you're in any rush to get them. Balance-wise, I'm simply not good enough to pass judgment, so take this with a grain of salt, but some guns are simply better than others and in turn are usually rarer. I personally have had a lot of success with the Peacekeeper shotgun, which can find an attachment to choke the bullet spread so tightly it becomes like a sniper rifle. Some legends seem slightly stronger than others as well, but for a game released basically out of nowhere a few days ago, it seems very close to the mark and is impressive. I imagine over time balance changes will creep in, but they aren't desperately needed in my opinion. Speaking of creep in, the sound design has infiltrated my mind. It's fantastic. There's a real ASMR feel to it, even the simple things like navigating the menu. So clicking on a menu item and selecting objects has a clean, crisp sound that makes the interaction feel very polished. While in game, even the sounds your gun makes as you switch, reload, or even move it around is polished. And that's not even mentioning how they sound when you fire. Just listen to all of this. The voice acting is fairly good, has that charming cheese to the lines, and the music has this techno-futuristic feel to it. Sound in video games is underrated, it really helps bring together the experience. In a game where life or death could mean understanding where your enemies are, it helps in a direct way as well. There's a layer of polish here that I didn't find in other battle royales. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an ASMR Apex video out there somewhere on YouTube. Graphically, Apex is a middle ground between PUBG and Fortnite in terms of style. It's not ultra cartoony, but it's not going for ultra realism as well, and by doing so, it subjectively looks the best out of the three. Its art style is clean and reminds me a bit of Borderlands without the stroke cells. This is the kind of art style that ages well, where realism tends to show its age sooner. I don't see any graphical glitches, and on 2K Ultra settings it runs smooth. The only time I had problems was when my connection was unstable, but it was still more stable than my trigger hand. There's plenty of eye candy and bragging rights through vanity items that you can either buy with real money or earn by playing the game. Visually, you can distinguish your guns and legends quite a bit when you have high value skins attached.
Can you guys see my gun?
Yeah, skin's got phone, that's cool.
But I would like to see more than just color palette swaps for so many of the common skins. I imagine since vanity is their business model, it will be the place that gets the most love when it's time for updates. Expect the already huge vanity item selection to grow even bigger. That being said, things like stat-based bragging rights attached to banners are unlocked by achieving certain things in game, so there is a form of progression beyond player level. Seeing the champion you're facing in a match with over 1,000 kills, hundreds of thousands of damage done, and other big statistics is intimidating, and I'm sure it makes them feel good about the time they put in. In conclusion, I'm not a lover of battle royales, but Apex Legends is starting to become the exception. It's not because it does anything drastically different or breaks the mold, but because little things it does right add up to improve the formula in such a way that the pain of loss is outweighed by the brief moments of victory. I didn't come into this review with any kind of bias. I was not paid to review it, nor was I sent an early copy, nor sent anywhere to play it. I don't have an invested interest in streaming Fortnite, PUBG, or even Apex, so I don't have a reason to deceive in order to see one of them succeed and to keep my audience. I'm judging this game based on its merit. Right now, it's the top of its class, but still sits at the back of the bus with the cool kids, and my neck is getting sore glaring over with envy at those that join in. If you enjoy battle royales, download this game now. What are you doing? Why are you even listening to this? Go download it now. If you hate battle royales and first-person shooters, you aren't going to like this game at all. It might even turn you off shooters even more and make you toxic in the comment sections of YouTube videos. If you dislike battle royales but like shooters or are completely indifferent, give it a try. It's free and you have nothing to lose but gigabytes and time. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to do the standard YouTube stuff. It really helps the channel out. Tell me what you think below and be sure not to miss my active competition to win a free game in the link below. Thank you to all my supporters and a shout out to those supporting on Patreon. You'll be in the end credits. I'll be back soon with a lot more content.